Hello everyone, I'm Thais and today I'm here to do a bit of a late June wrap-up. Calice! Okay, let's see if this way she doesn't make noise. I was kind of in a reading slump for the greater part of the month. It's not that I wasn't enjoying the books, it's more like I didn't feel like reading, so I was progressing really slowly. And until the 25th, I think, I had only read 6 books and 2 of them were graphic novels. So I only managed to get out of that slump with the readathons that took place on the last week. So the first book that I read this month was How to Ride a Dragon Storm by Cressida Cowell. This is the 7th book in the How to Train Your Dragon series, which is a middle grade series that follows the adventures of a young Viking named Hiccup and his dragon Toothless. I really enjoyed this book. I think it's my favorite one in the series so far. It's filled with so many different adventures and unlikely situations, and I really enjoyed that, so I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Then I picked up How to Train Your Viking, also by Cressida Cowell. This is kind of like an extra book in the series and it's told from the point of view of Toothless. I didn't enjoy this book as much as I thought I would. I think that the author didn't really know how to work so well with this point of view, and it ended up not being as fun as I thought it would be. It's a pretty short book, like less than 100 pages, so it was a pretty quick read, but I didn't think it added anything important to the series, so I ended up giving this 3 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. It follows a guy named Kel who is one of the last magicians with the rare ability to travel between parallel Londons. I think I'm going to do a full review for this book because there are just so many things that I want to say about it. The world building was done perfectly. I think this book seriously had one of the best world buildings that I've ever read, and the characters were also very complex and very relatable, and the story itself was very unique and magical, so I really loved this book. It deserved all the hype it got, and I promise you there will be a review for it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Since I was trying to get out of the reading slump, I wanted something that would be quick and easy to read, so I picked up Hyperbole and a Half by Ellie Brosh. This was actually my 3rd time reading this graphic novel. What I love the most about this book is that even though I've read it quite a few times already, it's still able to make me laugh out loud. Some situations are so relatable, so hilarious, it's impossible not to laugh. So if you are looking for a great book to pass the time, I definitely recommend you pick this up. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars again. Then I picked up another graphic novel, which was Seconds by Brian Lee O'Malley. I read the author's first graphic novel, Lost at Sea, in April, and I highly enjoyed it, so I was really excited to pick up Seconds, and it didn't disappoint me. Brian Lee O'Malley's artwork is seriously one of my favorites ever, and I really liked how this one was much more colorful than Lost at Sea, and the story was just so much fun. It was very different from what I thought it would be, but it was amazing. I went through this in one sitting because it was so addictive, and the main character does this thing where sometimes she talks to the narrator, and that's so fun. I would laugh every time that would happen. I could see why people recommend this graphic novel so much. I ended up giving it 5 out of 5 stars. Next I read 20 Boy Summer by Sarah Auckler. When I picked up this book, I thought it was gonna be just a cute romance, but it's a lot more than that. It tells the story of Anna and Frankie, who are 2 best friends that are dealing with the death of Frankie's older brother that happened a year ago. On top of all that, Anna is hiding a secret from Frankie that she was in love with Matt and they had been secretly dating for a month before he died. It took me a while to get into this book. The first half of it was pretty much boring because nothing happened, but after that things got better. I liked how it started to focus more on the girls' friendship and how Matt's death affected them. I think that the book would have been a lot more interesting if the author had focused more on that right from the beginning. Overall, the last half of the book made up for the slow beginning, and I also really enjoyed the romance that's present in it, so I ended up giving this 4 out of 5 stars. Next I read Dreams of Gods and Monsters by Laini Taylor, and guys, I don't even know what to say about this book. Seriously, it's perfection. You know when you're reading something and you want to keep turning the pages non-stop because it's so addictive, but it's also so emotionally intense that it's almost painful to do that. That's exactly how I felt while reading this book. It was filled with plot twists, it was epic, it was the perfect ending to the trilogy, so I couldn't give it less than 5 out of 5 stars. Then I started the hashtag BBB Readathon, and the first book that I read for that was Heart-Shaped Box by Joe Hill. This book really disappointed me. I enjoyed the writing style, I thought it was pretty good, but that was it. I found the story to be really predictable and even boring at times. It felt like the author was trying too hard to make this a scary book and he ended up overdoing it, especially with the gory stuff. Sometimes it was so exaggerated that it was ridiculous. I don't know if I'm going to pick up other books by Joe Hill. If you have read any of his books and you think that they are better, please let me know. I gave this 2 out of 5 stars. Since I managed to finish Heart-Shaped Box on the first day of the readathon, I moved on to the next book that was also on my Crusher TBR list, and that was The Peculiar by Stephen Bachman. This is a middle grade fantasy / steampunk book. When I started reading this, I had no idea what to expect and I ended up highly enjoying it. The plot is very simple, but it's also filled with so many adventures and fantastic things. There are also some moments that are really fun, but I can't deny that there's a dark twist to the story and I really enjoyed that. This is a book that I would highly recommend if you haven't read it, and I can't wait to get my hands on the sequel. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. Still during the Crusher TBR, I picked up Dias Perfeitos by Rafael Montes. This is a book by a Brazilian author and it follows Theo, a guy who gets obsessed with a girl named Clarice that he meets at a barbecue. Theo starts stalking Clarice and when she rejects him, things get pretty bad. I had some mixed feelings about this book. We get to see Theo's point of view throughout the whole story and it was as if I were watching a Criminal Minds episode. I really enjoyed getting into Theo's mind and seeing how twisted it was, especially when it came to justifying the things he did. But one of the problems that I had with this book was that after a certain point things started getting really disturbing and it wasn't even possible to know whether or not I was enjoying it. And then there was the ending. The ending. It was so disappointing. I was hoping that the book would get better, but it didn't. It felt really forced, really unrealistic. Overall, it was a good book. I do plan on picking up other books by this author. I think it was very different from everything I've ever read, and I would recommend it, especially if you like TV shows such as Criminal Minds. I ended up giving this 3.5 out of 5 stars. The last book I read was Invisibility by Andrea Kramer and David Levitan. This book was a great surprise. It's about Steven, a boy that's been invisible for all his life, but then one day he meets Elizabeth, a girl that can see him. This story was so unique and amazing, and I loved seeing how Elizabeth and Steven's relationship progressed. The book alters between their point of views, and while I thought that it was something that really added to the story, it was also the only thing that bothered me a little bit because Andrea Kramer writes Elizabeth's point of view and David Levitan writes Steven's, so it was possible to see the change in writing styles between chapters and it was a little strange until I got used to it, but it wasn't anything that made me enjoy the book any less because both styles were still amazing. The story flowed very easily, it was very quick to read and it was really engrossing, so I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. So that's it guys, those were all the books that I read during the month of June. About the readathons, I decided I wouldn't make a wrap-up video solely for them because I showed most of the books that I read for the hashtag BBB Readathon here, and for the Crusher TBR I read Dias Perfeitos and The Peculiar, so I've already talked about them. I read The Phantoms of Paradise, but that will be on my July wrap-up, and currently I'm reading All the Light We Cannot See. I wasn't able to finish it for the hashtag BBB Readathon, but it will be on my July wrap-up as well. That's it, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching and I'll see you soon with another video. Bye!